What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Spogo, and this is one of those videos that I always dread to make because this is one of those negative vibe videos, but I have to address these issues that are going on in the game because if you guys haven't noticed, man, the views on the channel for this game have went down tremendously, and that's because people don't care. People are bored, they're burnt out, and as to why are they feeling this way? Well, one reason is because of the A.G.E.S challenge. I think this game mode has really hurt the game tremendously because the way it was before, we had the Alexandria event, we had the Camp Capwan event, we could actually play those things right away, and every week we could change our elements, our colors, use different teams, and we could use our B.S. and S.S. characters and try to get it done, to try to get that EX generic memory from the carnival. But the way it is now is that all we're doing is we're just doing our dailies to try to get a bunch of nuts for this thing, right? And this thing's going to reset every single time that we have a new banner, so we got to start the process all over again. And the other thing that sucks is the fact that we have specific fighters that we can only use in this thing. And I've talked about this before, how in one way it does reward players because they pull for these previous characters, but in another way it really blows donkey butt because we're not able to really use our SS or BS characters that have become pretty much irrelevant thanks to a system like this, which has really hurt the game. You know, all that Marvel really did was make it more difficult for players to be able to get that EX generic memory. And you know what that does to players? It turns them away. They don't want to play the game. They want to be, you know what, like, hey, we had it this way, and then you change it to this way, which is more difficult. Like, no, screw that. I'm out of here, right? And that's exactly what happened, right? A lot of players were just like, you know what, this sucks. The feedback for this game mode just isn't that good. Yeah, there's good things about it, but I really feel like it's hurt the game big time. I feel like it's hurt the game tremendously because right now, guys, we're just bored out of our minds. There's really nothing different or unique in the game to play. I mean, yeah, we have the Jeanette's gift, we have the Cosmic gift, right? But all this is just farming a bunch of dailies in the power-up dungeons. That's all you're really doing. You're just using all of your AP, and that's fine. It's fine to have these game modes. I like it because there's some free stuff in there, but it's nothing really new and different. It's just a bunch of boring crap, right? We have the crafting event, which is the same old copy and paste what they've done over and over in all these game modes. We have the bingo, and the bingo is great. Bingo's good. You get some free rubies. These are good. There's nothing wrong with these game modes. It's just more of the same, right? And then we have the tower, right? Now this tower is pretty lackluster, guys. I mean, if you have your character at A3, then it's going to be all good because then you can hopefully get, you know, these shards to try to get more stones for your character. But I mean, the top reward in here, I mean, really? This is our top reward? I mean, what? And then they put, you know, the BS and SS selectors in here, right? And they put these things in this KOF pass, which you actually got to spend money for. But we don't need these characters. Why do we need any of these characters? For what? For what? You can cheese ball Reviving Hell's Dungeon with any of the new characters that have dot. You can come into Reviving Hell's Dungeon and use any character with any element as long as they have a dot that applies to all enemies on the screen and just murder the living crap out of this. Like this game mode's a complete joke. So having different colored elements doesn't really matter. Having BS characters doesn't really matter because all the new EX characters have just become so powerful and their dots just melt the living hell out of this game mode that you don't really need them. I mean, what Net Marvel essentially has done is made our BS and SS characters completely irrelevant with the power creep of all the new characters and the fact that now with the A.G.E.S system, we mainly only can use are EX characters for the most part, right? So having a BS and SS selector in that KOF pass, having these BS and SS generic memories and guild raid is kind of useless. It's kind of useless. Yeah, if one of your favorite characters is a BS and SS character, you can level them up, but there's not really a whole lot of motivation to play these game modes because all you're getting is that generic memory by chance, right? By chance, for a character that you're probably not going to be even using. I mean, I can tell you guys, I mean, granted, I'm a veteran, but this goes for my free-to-play account as well. I don't use my SS or BS characters for anything, especially now due to the A.G.E.S challenge. I don't use them for anything. So this game mode has become completely irrelevant. So They need to rework guild raid. I mean, they were supposed to rework this thing a long time ago. Maybe they were going to add a new guild raid or something, but they need to do something with this game mode to where scoring these ridiculous points. I mean, look at my teammates, guys. 9.4 trillion, 4.3 trillion, 2.3 trillion, and so on. Shout out to my teammates, right? This is, I mean, it's just ridiculous damage in a game mode where you only need 1.25 billion. Netmarble, give us, either rework this game mode where getting these kinds of points makes a difference for us as far as the rewards that we're actually getting, or give us a new game mode. I know, I've talked about this before. Give us a game mode like a KOF boss where we can use all the different color elements. I've talked about this in multiple videos where we can use yellow attack or blue attack or purple attack or whatever, defensive characters, balance type characters, right? Characters with the America tag or Fatal Fury tag, right? Make us a game mode where we have to use these characters with all these different typings or all these different applications, right? Or characters with certain dots and so on. You have so much at your disposal in Netmarble. You have so many different typings, so many different elements that you could easily make a game mode where we have to use specific characters for that game mode to make our BS and SS characters more relevant again and past EX characters more relevant again, right? Because of the power creep that you throw in this game, we just use the strongest characters to do all these new game modes. And that is a problem. I understand why you do it. You set this game up to where now in the A.G.E.S challenge, you want to pull for the newest characters because they're the ones that are going to get it done the most in this game mode. But that is not good enough. You're pushing players away by making the game this way. If you give us a game mode where we have to use all of our characters and get decent rewards out of there for our EX characters, then you're going to alleviate that problem and people are going to be more willing to play. They're going to be like, oh man, I can use my BS Rugal, I can use my BS Chrysalid, and so on and so on and so on, right? You can use our Nightmare Geese, we can use our old SS characters, we can use our old collaboration characters, and so on and so on and so on. But the way that you make the game is characters are only useful for a certain amount of time and then it's done. So having a game mode like a KOF boss where we have to use all these different types of elements and tags and so on would be awesome. Like, why don't you implement this? I mean, players would absolutely love having a boss fight. Like, say for example, we were going against Rugal, right? And you had, you know, different stages, you know, 50 stages or whatever, right? And for each stage, you're moving up the ladder, and, you know, say for every 4 stages or 5 stages, you have like, okay, so for the first 5 stages, you need to use a blue attack. For the next 5 stages, you need to use a yellow balance, right? And so on and so on and so on. Like, why don't you do something like that to make all these characters more relevant? We have an entire roster of characters that we don't really enjoy at all anymore. It's just becoming a collector game. And I'm telling you right now, having a collector game is not the way to go. That's only going to appease to a certain niche audience. It's not going to appease to the majority of the players. The majority of the players are going to be collectors, but they're also going to want to have use for all of these old characters. Wouldn't it be awesome if we had a red balance and I could actually use Rachel? That would be freaking fantastic. I'd be like, oh man. And then we could make videos talking about all that. And I mean, obviously for the content, it would be a whole lot better. But for the players, just think of how great that would be. Just think of how great that would be. Or, you know, you could only use your bronze fighters, or you could only use your gold border fighters, and so on and so on and so on, and bring the gold border characters back. There's such a high window of opportunity for a game mode that would be able to use all of these characters. That's not even funny, man. Like, we could have something that would be pretty damn awesome in this game, and I think would revitalize the game. I think that would be awesome because, I mean, right now we have 2 weeks of doing nothing, 2 weeks of the same old, just complete boredom, right? Just complete boredom. But if we had that boss fight that I've been mentioning in past videos, and in this video, it would be a different story. We'd be like, oh yeah, I got my new character. Oh yeah, this character is going to be good from stage 15 to stage 20. Yeah, I can get it done with this character. But no, the way you have it set up is that we're just pulling for these new characters in order to do well in the A.G.E.S challenge, so that way we can hopefully get an EX generic memory, and the cycle just continues over and over and over in every update. But if you had a game mode that had a whole bunch of levels, it would give us something to strive for other than this one thing where we don't even play for a couple weeks every single update, right? If you had something that we're playing over and over and over, that would be sweet. And whatever happened to demo space, right? Whatever happened to demo space in Netmarble? I mean, when are you going to bring that back? That was actually a good game mode at one time, as long as you're not nerfing the crap out of our characters. But where is it? Why haven't you brought the game mode back? Because what's happening is, you know, we get the new banner, we get the new girls, right? We got Jeanette, who looks awesome. We got Cosme, who's amazing. But guess what? The hype dies down pretty damn quick when you have 2 weeks of doing nothing. You have 2 weeks of doing nothing in this game, just the same old normal dailies as we always do. And if we had something else, another game mode that we can strive and move up in, that would be awesome. Please, Netmarble, give us a KOF boss, right? Give us a KOF boss fight where we have a whole bunch of levels where we have to use different typings, different tags, and so on to play in that game with specific characters to try to get it done. Give us that, right? You could start off with Rugal, then you could bring in like a A.G.E.S boss, you could bring in A.G.E.S boss, and so on and so on and so on. And you could just add more HP to the bosses as we're moving up in the stages. You could add more effects as we're moving up in the stages to make it more difficult, and so on. I mean, that's all we really want. We just want a game mode that we can play over and over and over to get some good rewards and push higher and higher levels, so that way we have something to strive for. Because right now we don't really have nothing to strive for except getting a new character to try to do well in the A.G.E.S challenge, just to get that EX generic memory. But if we had a game mode where we had something to strive for, something to push, it would help the game so much. I really feel like it would revitalize the game. So Netmarble, I am asking you, man, please give us something like that. Give us some kind of boss fight where we're pushing a bunch of stages, where we have to use a whole bunch of different characters in order to feel like, you know, we're getting the most out of our entire roster. So guys, let me know what you think about what I've said. Let me know if you have any ideas which could improve the game. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GT+7 time. Link in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See everybody. Take care.